People, I'm shattered. I'm absolutely shattered. I've just got back from the gym. Another hard session. Yesterday's session was brutal. The VO Max test. Today's was as difficult, if not worse. Yesterday's session, and look, shout out to Kingston University who allowed us to use their equipment. But yesterday's session on that VO Max test, and they're screaming at me, more. And I'm thinking, there is no more. You're asking me to do something. There is no more. Like, my legs felt like concrete. I pretty much collapsed when I finished. And today, another brutal session. Tomorrow is just a recovery session, thank God. But we are 4 days in, just 4 days into this 8-week camp. And I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't know. But look, we wanted to set ourselves a challenge. We have a challenge. Shout out to Boxing Science who wrote up my nutrition for 8 weeks, like to the T. Like, this is how detailed they've gone with the nutrition. You know those, I don't know if you know, those sprays, like oil sprays, like so you can measure exactly how they fucking have put down 5 sprays of oil. That's how detailed they've gone in. Raspberries, 12 raspberries, 11 blueberries. That's how detailed they've gone, to shout out to them. But look, my appreciation, in fact, my appreciation for fighters was always there. That's why I do this channel. I love what they do. But my appreciation has just gone through the roof. Yeah, mate. Look, we will do it. I mean, again, the plan is to get to 175 pounds in 8 weeks. Look, we wanted a challenge. We've got a challenge. But yeah, I'm starting to question this challenge after 4 days, but we'll get through it. Jaron Ennis on Spence Crawford. I believe I'm the best option for the winner. Dude, maybe the loser, not the winner. But you think you just walk into an undisputed fight? I feel like you've got a bit more work to do, Jaron Ennis. I feel like there's fights out there for him that we want to see. I think Virgil Ortiz is a fight we'd like to see. A passing of the torch fight maybe against Keith Thurman. I mean, there is work there. There is work there still for him to have before he talks about fighting the winner of Errol Spence, Terence Crawford. I like it. I like the fact he's calling them out. I like the fact that he thinks he's at that level. But I need to see maybe 1 or 2 more before I know that's the case. As for Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, look, we are just over 3 weeks away. I feel like it needs just a bit more of a push. I think the 24/7 shows start airing soon, or maybe they've started airing already, but that might help. But you know, I always can gauge whether a fight's going to be really big because I've got a lot of friends that are on the edges when it comes to boxing, on the periphery, and I know how big a fight is when they then start to tune in and ask me questions. And they've not done it yet. They did it about Ryan Garcia Tank. They always do it about AJ and Canelo fights. They haven't asked me about this one yet. And that's my gauge. Like, when I think a fight's crossed over to the casual boxing fans, it's those friends. And none of them have yet asked me about Errol Spence, Terence Crawford. So I feel like it needs just a bit more. Like, when it was announced, I think the internet went a bit crazy, and now it's dipped down a bit. That could be because of other announcements. Canelo, Jamel, it could be a case of what's going on with the heavyweights. But for the magnitude of what this is, and this is something special, I feel like we need to kind of ramp it up again. I said that they missed a trick not doing a Max Kellerman face-off. That they missed a big trick. Like, having them at the press conference was good, and I think we saw enough of a heated exchange to know that a face-off between these two would be very interesting indeed. I think it would be really good. I think they need to really need to go through the gears on this one, because again, for me, this is not just the biggest fight of the year, it's the biggest fight of many years. Like, my excitement for this fight is kind of how I felt when Golovkin Canelo 1 was announced, or what others have been like, oh my God, in recent years. This one actually didn't do the numbers, but for me, when Kovalev Andre Ward was announced, I was like, oh shit. So it needs something. But look, it's a fantastic matchup. I think Terence Crawford's doing the most on social media. We've never seen this before with Terence. I wonder if it's now almost part of the contract. And by the way, that's in your contract. I speak to a lot of boxers, like promotional stuff is in your contract. Even in terms of, it might even get down to a small thing like the amount of posts you do on social media to generate interest for this fight. So Terence is doing a great deal of promotion, which is fantastic. Not much from Errol, but yeah, I think it needs a push. I still think it will get over 1 million pay-per-view buys. I think I mentioned to you guys that I'm trying to get out there. I've applied for my accreditation, or DAZN has applied for my accreditation. The plan is to do a couple of DAZN boxing shows out there. Obviously, we're not showing the fight, but it doesn't mean that as a boxing channel, you can't promote the fight. I think we're all one at the end of the day. So, yeah, looking forward to it, but just needs a little extra, doesn't it? Doesn't it? I think someone tweeted this as well the other day that the timeline's gone a bit quiet. It needs to be ramped up. Like Ryan Garcia Tank didn't die at all for me. As soon as it was announced, it literally went, it never stopped. It never stopped. And then obviously the numbers are the numbers. I feel like this one went like that, and now it's kind of gone like that a bit. It needs to go again. Just my fault. Showtime's Steven Espinoza says piracy is depressing pay-per-view buys by at least 30 to 40%. Man, obviously he will know the figures, but I think it's probably even more than that. I'm not quite sure what you do. I mean, some might say, well, you don't do pay-per-views, and look, you're right, you don't. But then, unfortunately, if you don't do pay-per-views, you can't pay the fights because the broadcasters are not going to pay or guarantee these fighters the money they want to fight. Unfortunately, pay-per-views are necessary evil. Maybe you drop the price, especially in the States. I mean, some pay-per-views in the States are, what, $85 to upwards. Like, what is Crawford Spence pay-per-view price? Let's have a look. $84.99. It's a lot. That's a lot, isn't it? What is that? Hey, sorry, we're doing a quick. I want to see what that is in pounds. 66 quid. 66 quid. That's a lot. That's nearly 3 times what the pay-per-view cost over here. That's a lot. So look, that could be something. Maybe you look at dropping the pay-per-view price down. But then I guess if I was to ask Espinoza that, he will say, I'm telling you now, in the UK where you do your pay-per-views $19.95 or $25.95 or whatever it is, it's still pirates. Like the piracy still happens at 30 to 40%. So it's not even a price thing, I don't think. But that might be a starting point. It's just a case of people don't want to pay. That's all it is. So I don't know what they do. I don't know how they stop it. I know Dana White went very hardcore with it for the UFC because it was really affecting them. And I think they made several arrests, and he was happy to announce it. And I think that helped a little bit. Like if we know that you are pirating our fights, we are going to arrest you. And I think they did make arrests. Like there was a main guy who was pirating it, and everyone was then jumping on his stream. And I think that guy got arrested. So maybe it's threats like that. I don't know. But yeah, man, it does take money out of the fighters' pockets, which I don't like. I think Spence said this, didn't he? Like, you know, come on, guys, please buy it. But yeah, there needs to be a conversation as to what they do, because this will continue. It might even get worse. Because not you got to work out for a fight fan as well. How many pay-per-views are there in a year? Like, how much can you afford on these pay-per-views? Like, you know, when DAZN chuck in a pay-per-view, like I'm guessing if AJ White's announced, that'll be a pay-per-view. If Conor Ben Eubanks announced, that'll be a pay-per-view. Obviously Canelo, Jamel, obviously pay-per-view. Ryan Garcia Tank pay-per-view. Crawford Spence pay-per-view. We're going to talk about it in a minute, but Usyk Dubois has been announced as a pay-per-view. All those heavyweight clashes we're hearing about at the back end of the year, Wilder AJ pay-per-view. Fury, if it's Fury and Garnett pay-per-view. And I've probably missed out so many. I mean, that was 7 or 8. I probably have missed out on loads. If you're a real hardcore fight fan, you want to watch all of those. But can you afford to? I mean, can you afford to? That probably just added up there alone to $400, $500. And again, there's going to be more. That's it. That's the problem. Tim Tszyu's promoter. I understand Charlo's decision to fight Canelo, a chance to make history. Yeah, of course. I mean, come on, you do it, man. Like, you know, it's not even just that as well. I mean, you get the offer for Tim Tszyu on the table, and you get the offer for Canelo on the table, and he would have looked at both because he knows the money that the Tim Tszyu fight would generate. It would go on pay-per-view, but it's not going to do that much. and it's a defense of his belts. Someone's coming to get his belts, as opposed to don't have to cut that weight. And trust me, I know that feeling now. And you can jump up and fight Canelo, and that check's bigger, and you could go down in history, and you will be pound for pound number one. Like, I'm sorry, Tim Tszyu, I know he's upset, but it's not even a question. It's not a question. Usyk Dubois to headline August 26 TNT Sports pay-per-view from Poland. I've seen the response to this. Some will say, well, Usyk's a pay-per-view fighter. I don't think he's a pay-per-view fighter. I think he is in pay-per-view fights. So I think that there's a slight difference. Usyk versus AJ, pay-per-view fight. Usyk versus Fury, pay-per-view fight. Usyk versus anyone else, question marks. But it's a unified heavyweight title fight. So I can understand why they're doing it. It'll be interesting, moving away from the pay-per-view. It'll be interesting to see who presents this. Bear in mind, there's been a lot of changes with BT Sports, now obviously rebranded as TNT. All their football coverage is different now. There's been a lot of talk about Laura Woods going over there. Will Laura Woods headline this? Will she be the person that does this? Will be interesting. Or will they stick with the usual lot? Paul Dempsey, Steve Bunce, Carl Frampton, and whoever else. That's going to be interesting to see what they do. Yeah. And they're obviously, I'm guessing they're going to do it from a studio over here and throw it to them, like I did when I did Canelo, when I was in a studio in Miami and I threw it, as opposed to being in Mexico. So that'll be interesting. Mate, that's crazy, you know, what I just said. That's crazy, you know. What a journey. Dude, I did the Canelo fight. I did Canelo. How crazy is that? Me, the guy that you've been watching for years on this fucking green chair, did Canelo. I just said it like it was nothing. Yeah, like I did the Canelo fight in Miami. Do you know how crazy that is? Keep dreaming, people. Keep fucking dreaming. Jake Paul wants Fury about... No, I'm not doing that. Carl Froch, I think Tyson Fury has one eye on retirement. Yeah, as he should. What's Tyson Fury? 34, 35? What is he? Tyson Fury is 34. Yeah, of course, 1 hour retirement. Not a problem with that. Look, Tyson Fury, after the Vladimir Klitschko fight, obviously got no love, right? I remember he came back, got no love, and depression sunk in. And I don't know what his paycheck was, but it wouldn't have been great. If you were to have asked Tyson Fury then, or told him then that you're going to make the money that he's made now, Tyson Fury must have career earnings of over £100 million. What are we in this sport for? Like, some will stay too long, and some might say legacy. I already can tell that Tyson Fury is not a legacy chaser. That's not his thing. I've kind of spoke about this till I've been blue in the face. He's not a legacy chaser. So if you're not a legacy chaser, you've ticked all the boxes. It's fine to call it quits now, or to have one eye on retirement. You've ticked everything. You are the number one heavyweight on the planet. Box ticked. You've got the WBC belt. Box ticked. You're a lineal champion. Box ticked. You finally have got respect from the fans. Box ticked. And probably the most important one, you've made over £100 million. Box ticked. He's ticked all the boxes. There is nothing more to chase. This sport is so dangerous. Like, I love it, and we all love the sport, but understand the dangers of this sport. Again, get in, you know the phrase, get in, get rich, get out. Yeah. Like, you know, for me, the greatest fighter of all time was Muhammad Ali, the greatest fighter of all time. Stayed in too long. Way too long. Like, this sport will retire you unless you retire from the sport. Like, I wouldn't be mad at Tyson Fury if he had one more. Hopefully it's the undisputed against Usyk, and says, you know, fuck it. Wouldn't be mad at that. Would I want to see the other fights? Yeah, but that's number one versus number two. You clock the game. Move on. It's fine. Hello. What's going on here? Dimitri Bivol praises Anthony Yarde. He's getting better and better. Is that like a sly hint as to what might be coming? Because look, someone said the other day, I think I put up a clip of me getting down to 175, and someone said, is Ade trying to fight Dimitri Bivol? And someone said it will make a change from him kissing Bivol's ass. I will not stop kissing Bivol's ass, people. I will not stop. I love that man. I really do love him. I love him from just a bear in mind, I've interviewed hundreds of boxers now, and he's just one of the nicest, maybe the nicest boxer I've ever interviewed. So humble. So that's that. There's that side, and then there's obviously that. I can't not like. Do you understand? That was his biggest night, the biggest night of his life. And I don't know if you guys know the lead up to it. Let me quickly remind you of the lead up to it. We were there. We're interviewing in, I don't know what the theatre was. Everyone there is supporting Canelo. Everyone. And I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm with you, Bivol. And he said, are you with me? I said, I'm with you. And then he's like, I asked for the jacket, and his guy put the jacket on me. But anyway, we moved on. But I thought, from then I thought, yeah, I'm Team Bivol. Like 90% of the people in there was Canelo. I'm like, no. You know, everyone wants Canelo to win. I get it. The zone, everyone wants Canelo to win. I'm like, no. I want Bivol to win. I want the upset. And then when he won, he looked at me in the post-fight press conference, and he was like, and I was like, which is a bit risky because Team Canelo were around. But I was like, and then as he's coming out, I said, Bivol, hey, that jacket. And he's like, of course. How can I not kiss that guy's ass? And then, so there's those two things. And then, finally, we'll end on this one. Finally, he's a great boxer. Bivol technically might just be the best boxer right now. Like, his feet are just insane. Like, you know what it is? Someone needs to do, like, hopefully Lee Wiley's watching this. Lee, if you're watching this, I need you to do it for me. Someone needs to just do a video of Bivol's feet. So all you can see on the screen is feet. Or if you can, just watch the feet. So don't watch his upper body. Don't watch what he's landing. Just watch this guy's movement. It's insane. Honestly, it's incredible. He's never flat-footed, always on his toes, in and out, side to side. Oh man, I love him. And as I said, I will continue to kiss his ass. Richardson Hitchens believes Devin Haney is on another level in comparison to Regis Prograis. This is the case of the what have you done lately for me thing, where everyone now remembers Regis Prograis' last performance, which was bad. It was bad against Zorilla. But that said, Devin Haney's wasn't great against Loma, but that's Loma. So maybe it is a case of that. Prograis didn't look good. He was talking a lot of smack, and it just didn't quite work out. Didn't quite work out. All right, final one, because we need to sleep because I'm shattered. Errol Spence, it's common sense why Crawford is the betting favourite, but I'm realistic. Keep defying odds. I was surprised by that. Like he's now an odds-on favourite to beat Terence Crawford. What's everyone seen? Like, again, I think this is 50-50. I think this is a genuine 50-50. But the more boxers are speaking, the more, like, if you were to poll 50 boxers, I think most are saying Terence Crawford now, which is surprising. Surprising. For me, it's 50-50 scrap. I can't wait for it. And it should be a good one. All right. Oh, this is a good fight. Jai Pattaya versus Richard Riakporhe in talks for August 23rd showdown. August 23rd. If they're smart, August 23rd will be headlined by Boatsi versus Dan Aziz, co-main event. Pattaya versus Richard Riakporhe, and I'm sure there's a few more they can squeeze in there as well and make that a very good card. Not a pay-per-view card, a very good card. All right, girls, guys, we're done. Peace.